Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. So the time has officially come. I'm about to install the Eibach springs onto the ZR2. It's time, guys. I've been putting it off, and it's actually pretty, I don't want to say cool, but it's not as hot right now. It's not in the hundreds, it's in the high 90s. So I need to take advantage right now to get this job knocked out. All right, and also I've been getting some issues with the truck. Weird issues. I don't know. Stability track turned off in the middle of a drive, middle of the trip. My front locker wasn't being activated anymore. I got the service axle locker light message thing. I pulled some fuses, put them back on, went down underneath the truck by the spare tire location, unplugged the chassis control module, blew on it, plugged it back in, and I went to turn the truck on. All my service lights are off. Front locker's working, so I don't know. I think I fixed it. Who knows? You know, but right now, while the truck is still running good, I'm gonna take advantage of this time while I still have it, because I do plan on using this. I want to take it out again. There's a nice off-road park nearby here. I'm surprised. I've lived here for over a year, and I haven't been there yet. I've known it's there since before I lived out here, but I just haven't been there yet. All right. Oh, sorry guys. Freaking allergies are nasty right now. But yeah, let me go ahead and move everything out of the garage, or move stuff out of the way here, make room for the truck, bring it in, and show you guys how this process goes. All right, there's other videos out there explaining the process and whatnot, you know, but yeah, I wasn't gonna make this video. I asked, you guys wanted it, so here you go. I do, however, have to drink an energy drink right now because, guys, I'm tired and I'm just not feeling it, but this has to get done. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna drink my drink, move some stuff around, get the truck in here, and get to it. The product sponsor for this video is Extrusion Overland. Visit extrusionoverland.com for all your modular bed rack and cargo solution needs. So the last time I tried doing this, I used this lock right here, and obviously that's the reason I couldn't finish the job. So got another one, perfect fit. Hopefully it doesn't break on me today. But just went ahead and got the lug nuts loose. About to jack the truck up, put on the jack stand. I'm just gonna do the right side for now, finish it up, do the left side. Alright, so once you guys have your vehicle jacked up, safely on the jack stand. Yes, I know it's Harbor Freight, but they have the new little pin right there that you add. All right, so if you want to add excitement to this, use Harbor Freight stuff. Right, but what you're gonna do too is disconnect this sensor right here. It's a Torx 30. All right, you're also gonna want to disconnect it here from the back. The little bracket there, it's a 10mm bracket. All right, so it's gonna be a little bit tight. I can't get the camera in there, but just to let you guys know, right? So when it comes to smaller pieces of hardware, I always like to loosely place the screws or the bolts where they belong there. That way I don't have to look for them later, because I'm always losing stuff. Alright, so that's pretty much what I did here. You guys can do that if you like. If not, hey, no biggie. But here's the sensor. I need to clean it up a bit, just for, I don't know, peace of mind. Whatever could go wrong with it. Up next, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect, remove this little sway bar end link right here. It's only top and bottom. Disconnect that. And also you're gonna loosen this. Don't take the top nut out completely, because you're gonna hit this with a hammer and it's gonna pop right off. Once it pops off, you can loosen it and take it off completely. And that is for the tie rod. Now that the tie rod is separated from the spindle, we're going to go ahead and grab our 17mm wrench and get up in there in the strut tower and break loose and take off the 17mm nuts holding the strut to the strut tower. Once you remove the 3 nuts from the strut tower, place them off to the side. There are 2 15mm bolts holding the bottom shock to the lower control arm. These 2 right here. I'm gonna go ahead and break them loose, take them completely off before we undo the upper control arm so that the whole spindle drops forward, and that's gonna break the shock loose. Before you break the upper ball joint off, you want to make sure you're applying pressure to the lower control arm using a jack. Alright guys, so I was kind of struggling getting the strut out of there because of the sway bar. To make life a little bit easier, you just want to break these 2 10mm bolts, or loosen them completely, take them off, and that's going to allow the sway bar to swing up and down, giving you enough clearance to just pull the strut out. Alright, so we have the strut right here. Let me get my spring compressor ready, and we'll get to it. I almost thought I was stuck for a moment because I couldn't use this due to the anchor points and it just being too tough to tighten it down for that kind of spring. So I did end up using these McPherson strut, little cheaper ones, right? And it was a pain to get these little lips inside the gaps here of the coil spring because they're so tightly wound. So what I ended up doing was I completely unthreaded the bottom one and wedged it in towards the bottom, and I had to hammer it in. You are going to beat up the spring a little bit, and then once that's hammered in, you do the same thing with the other side. And you make sure that this side that you're going to hammer in, not hammer in, but drill in, is facing towards the shock, all right? Because this bottom portion here is going to get in the way of your impact. So make sure that these little heads are facing the reservoir when you mount this onto that. Once you compress it, take everything off. You're going to need a 15mm nut or a wrench to get this top nut off the strut. Once that is off and you decompress the spring here, it's going to be a lot easier to take this off because these are going to decompress a lot more than they were when it was on that. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is install that Eibach spring onto this in the exact reverse method that we use here to take it off. And then we'll do the reverse of what we just did to install it onto the truck. Hopefully these come off. This was nerve-wracking, but I got it. I already put this nut back on, get it all the way down. Now I'm just gonna loosen these suckers right here and pray for me, fellas, all right? I did not plan on doing it this way at all. All right, guys, I made a rookie mistake putting the strut back on. When I put it on, the reservoir was facing out because I forgot to line this up. Alright, so what I did is I had a little metallic Sharpie here and I made sure that they were lined up. See my little marks here. You want to line up the top of the base of the strut tower here for the shock. This rubber piece, line it up with the shock, and you do the same here. Alright, before you take anything off. Alright, so I should have done this at the beginning because when you put everything back together after you decompress and or compress and decompress the shock, you want everything to line up. Otherwise, these top bolts right there are not going to line up to the strut tower, and you're going to be aimed in a different direction. All right, man, I'm freaking gassed out right now because it's hot as shit, and I'm trying to work against the time. The sun's going down. I just want to give everybody a heads up here. The importance of using an open-ended wrench or a pass-through socket set, these that you can see right through, is when you're tightening your ball joints right here on the upper control arm, is sometimes the ball joint thread itself is going to start spinning as you're tightening it. I don't know if you can see it right here. So to remedy that, you want to use a hex key or an Allen key, and there's a little slot right here on the bolt itself where you can stick it in while you're tightening it, and it holds that ball joint in place, keeps it from spinning, and gets this nice and tight. And another thing too, I saw in another YouTube video of a guy that did the same thing. What's up, dude? On that YouTube video I was telling you about, that guy mentioned that he wasn't able to use the sway bar anymore because I guess the springs push the this whole bottom section here a bit further down. So what I did to still be able to use my sway bar is, again, this was already loose right here. I loosened it earlier, took it completely off, and I put the sway bar end link on first, tightened it, and then I tightened that up. All right, and it ended up working out. So I know there's a few people that did this, they weren't able to use the sway bar end links anymore, so they eliminated it completely. I don't know if they just took the end links off and just had this dangling, or if they took the whole sway bar off. But I'm just here to tell you guys, you could still use it using that method. All right, bolt this in first and then put that back on, mount it back onto the frame. All right, super easy, and you're still gonna have that stability afterwards. Man, look at me, freaking dirty. So I got the other side knocked out, and I don't know what happened with the GoPro. I thought it was recording, it wasn't. But I'm not thinking straight right now. It's a little over 100 degrees in the garage right now, and I'm feeling it, guys. But you can see everything's put back together on this side. I'm about to knock out the other side, which is pretty much the exact same thing as the passenger side. One thing I want to show you guys too is, oh man, these spring compressors. It's supposed to have 2 washers here. It does have 2 washers, but look at what happened to this one. It's sheared right onto the head. You can see all the shavings right there, and same thing on this one. Look at that. It's a reason why I want to use that bigger spring compressor, but for some reason, you know, it's just not meant for this kind of coil spring. You know, these ZR2 springs, sorry guys, sitting inside the front of the fan. Man, I can't think straight, can't talk straight, it's so freaking hot, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, the springs, these coil springs here, actually got it right here. Compared to a regular non-performance OEM truck spring, you see this one's got way more coils than, say, a Trail Boss, right? A Trail Boss got like maybe 7 or something, and they're a bit wider apart too. It's a lot easier to compress. These are tighter wound together, which gives you that awesome stiffness, right, when you're in the truck. So because of that, it's a pain in the butt to fit those spring compressors, and when you compress it, the compression pressure is a lot higher than the regular OEM springs. And this thing here, I don't know, it has to be bolted down to the floor, I guess, to really get some good leverage, because I was struggling to spin that, you know. But nonetheless, I got it knocked out. I'm gonna chance it, and I'm gonna knock out the other side, and hopefully those heads or those washers don't shear all the way through. I'll let you guys know if that does happen. And also, if you guys are wondering what increase in height I got on this side compared to the other side, it's a little over a ½ inch, you know, which I'm pretty happy with that. Right now this truck's got 34-inch tires. It should clear 35-inch with very minor trimming next time around, you know, next time I'm in the market for some tires, which I hope it's sooner rather than later, but these things have about 90% of the life left, 85, whatever. So it's gonna be a while, unfortunately, but I'm gonna get skinnier tires. These are 12.5. I'm gonna shoot for 10.5, and instead of getting mud terrains, I'm gonna look for rough terrain. You know, just a little bit quieter on the road, and it's gonna boost my MPGs as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other side, guys. All right, everyone, another day here. Finally gonna knock out the other side. But if you guys saw my other portion of the video, saw how that washer drove itself up. So what I did, I went to the hardware store, got 2 of these heavy duty hardened washers that are gonna slide right up that, and hopefully it's gonna prevent the little base, whatever you call it, grip or whatever, from shifting forward and possibly popping out and causing a huge accident or injury. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring the truck back in, put these on. Hey guys, so I want to point out something I just found out, or I learned. All right, I could easily edit this stuff out, you know, make it seem like I know what the frick I'm doing, but I mean, I'm not even a qualified mechanic, man. Everything I do, I learned. I've been doing this shit since I was like 14 or 15 years old, my first car, breaking stuff and learning the hard way, you know. So the reason I say that is just to tell you there are going to be mistakes done on my part, right? But I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So if you remember, I told you guys to line up with that metallic Sharpie, right? The position of all the boots, the little isolators and all this on the shock. Well, working with Multimatics, you know, it's a lot more complex than that. Let me show you. I don't know if you see inside here, but there's like little teeth there, right? Little gears. What happens to that is when you have the spring decompressed, it is going to get loose, and it'll allow you to lift it, rotate it, and put it back into position, right? What I found out, contrary to my belief from earlier about marking stuff, sorry, one hand again, is, I don't know if you can see it, but this is how you want this to line up. So ignore the whole marking part. This is how it's going to line up. You're going to line up this stud right here as close as possible to the reservoir. All right, so it's going to be off by about what, maybe 30 degrees or 25 degrees. It's not going to be dead on, but you want it as close as possible to that reservoir. All right, so how you get there is doing that method, right? You're going to adjust the sleeve right here. You're going to pick it up, twist it, set it back down into position. I thought lining it up would help me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened. I tried lining it up, everything lined up the method I originally intended. When I put the sucker on, it was off. The top bolts went right into the strut tower, but these 2 bottom ones were off by about almost 90 degrees. You know, so again, guys, learn from my mistake. There's a reason I'm doing this video. I was this close to not doing a video, not making a video, but I'm glad I did, because again, I'm messing up so you guys don't have to. All right, so let's get back to it. Guys, there you have it. That suspension is finally done. I'm not dying. It's not that hot today. It's about, I don't know, maybe right below 100 degrees in the garage. Have to clean up, pick up some tools, put everything back where it belongs, and upload these captures to the computer. Alright, project took me longer than expected. You guys saw where I messed up, so if you guys are planning on doing this stuff yourself, don't make the same mistakes I made. Alright guys, so this concludes this video, everyone. Again, I'm sorry if it's so informal. I was not planning on making this video, but I figured based off of the poll results when I asked the question if you guys were interested in a video like this, you know, so that's one thing that contributed to this video, or me making the video. And another thing is the videos out on YouTube, they're helpful, but they're not extremely helpful, right? So I figured throwing one more tool out there in the YouTube verse to help you guys out, you know, wrench on your own. You know, again, it's just to help you guys out. If anything, just take it for information and entertainment purposes. And yeah guys, you know, again, you guys are doing this at your own risk, all right? I'm not promising any results, you know, I'm just showing you what worked for me. And if you guys dare to venture to do this stuff yourselves, hey, by all means, all right? The job altogether took me approximately, let's see, when I did the passenger side, which is the whole side that I recorded, that was maybe about 3 to 4 hours. You know, and again, because I was recording and whatnot, setting up the camera, capturing the angles, planning where I was going to set the camera up, had to stop, take gloves off, press, you know, use my fingers on the screen and all that stuff, you know. But the other side, with the exception of my impact wrench dying, you know, it would have taken me approximately about 1.5 hours to 2 hours tops to do that one. All right, so yeah, the hardest part is compressing those springs and getting those little spring compressors to fit inside in between each coil. All right, and then after that, as you guys saw that I messed up, right, lining up the strut tower, or the top of the tower, the strut, to the reservoir to make sure it goes into the strut tower properly. You get the proper clearance, and you have the reservoir aiming inward, not outward, not diagonal, inward. All right, so yeah guys, again, thank you for watching this video. I don't know why you guys watch me, shit. Maybe you guys just love watching me fail sometimes, right? No, I'm just kidding. But I really do appreciate it, everyone. We have an Instagram. Check out our merch store, TrollBossMafia.com. Check out Extrusion Overland. And we do have a discount code for that. You guys saw at the beginning of the video. Adrenaline Off-Road Outfitters. Some badass rock lights, possibly the brightest ones that I've seen on any vehicle. I was not going to be a rock light type of guy, but I saw how bright they were. I was just going to use the white ones, but it's pretty cool when you use the colored ones, right? The red ones, the green, whatever. It's RGBW. It's awesome. Remotes, you know, pretty sturdy. They're potted too, so they're pretty waterproof. All right, guys? So thanks again, everyone. Have a good one.